What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
I timed it.
You timed it. Do you see the countdown before it goes?
No, I don't see anything.
I actually don't know if there's a countdown. It just
the only indication I get is a little recording red button in the top left corner of my screen.
See. Yeah.
But other than that, no, I see nothing.
Okay, I see nothing.
See nothing. There you go.
See no evil. Hear no evil.
Hear no evil.
Speak
Is
no
that
evil.
how that goes?
I think so. I didn't check. Does my volume sound okay?
Yes, your volume sounds okay.
Okay,
Does my volume sound okay?
Yeah, your sounds fine.
Right.
Now that we've done our pre-show checks after we hit record, hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 72 of the F1 Underground podcast, where we cover everything F1, motorsports, IndyCar, which is going to be over sooner rather very soon.
Yeah.
IndyCar, everything, news, breaking news. We have a fun show today. We have one piece of weekly news. It's been a pretty quiet week, but I think most of the teams were actually on break, considering like we had social media admins saying goodbye to everyone on social media. Yeah. So except for that Alpine admin, shout out to that Alpine admin, because they worked. The best was Red Bull posted yesterday, and they're like, "We're back." And Alpine was like, "How was your break?" And they're like, "Good. How was yours?" And they're like, "Wait, we had a break?
we were supposed to stop?"
Yeah. But yes, so we will do one piece of news, and it's not even F1 news; it's IndyCar news that broke today. We have a fun topic we're going to talk about, given to us by Frey. If you listened last week, we kind of said in the middle of talking about it, we would save it, most of it, for this week.
Yep.
We split up the teams 5-5, and we're kind of going to do a team review, ups and downs, progresses, what could happen next, and all that. F1 Threads mailbag, and then we have some very exciting news. No, like, we're really excited about this.
I'm so excited about this.
This might be, this would be the most excited we've been to say something like this. So, but yes. So as we'll get started with our meme of the week. Let me move this.
As always. Were you waiting for me to say something there?
Yeah, why'd you say as always?
Because we always get started with meme of the week.
Oh, yeah. It was their normal. I'm going to go first. Owen has to. Oh, I have to bring it up, but Owen's sharing my meme today. I posted this today. Obviously, it's F1 summer break. Drivers are away, having a grand old time. Everyone seems to be in Ibiza. That's also including Charles Leclerc and his friend group. He looks like an uncle at like a wedding. He's doing some like stereotypical white man dance in the club. It's so perfect. It's also at the end where he looks up and sees the person's recording. So if the video keeps going and the person like puts their phone down real quick because they realize they get caught dancing. Yeah, there was a lot more videos of him just letting loose. He was definitely drunk. Yeah, I think as said before, I would love to party with Charles Leclerc. I would love to party with MaxVerstappen because they just seem like fun times. But not with how late his friends were out. There was another video that came out today. They were out till 6 a.m. I could never.
Oh my god, my hard deadline now is like midnight.
Yeah, midnight. I'm like, okay, good night. Yeah, and then I wake up in the morning and I feel awful. But so that was my meme of the week. Charles Leclerc doing the most awkward dance moves ever. I posted on Threads and I said, it's good to know that Charles Leclerc and I do have something in common, and that's awkwardly dancing. Yeah,
this is a real humanizing moment for him.
Yes, like he's not good at something. Here it is.
Here it is. He's a bad dancer. Which, I totally relate. I know exactly what's going through his head right now. And it's got to be something along the lines of, like, I'm not drunk enough for this to, like, really feel comfortable dancing. but I'm also not like stone cold sober, so I don't have a reason just to like stand here. You know?
He was like buzzed because the other video that's going around of him dancing, he has some random ass hat on his head, and he like takes the hat off to like listen to the music better. He was definitely gone there, but yeah, that was my meme of the week.
Which, I mean, it makes sense. I'm sure summer break, the drivers let loose a little bit, but I'm sure they're not like going absolutely crazy. So it makes sense. But yes, very nice to see that Charles is a human.
Yeah, I mean, we also saw the videos of him after his Monaco win, literally with the Monaco flag draped over his head, like we couldn't see him. So, but yeah, that's my meme of the week.
My meme of the week is very easy.
You said my meme of the week.
Meme of the week. It's gonna be what we're gonna call it now. Meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
It's such a straightforward. It's such a good one too because I think it explains how everybody's feeling right now, and that's just you got any more of that wheel action going on? Guy scratching his neck like he's a cocaine addict. I miss it so much. Sorry for the sirens too going off in the background. It's just like it's so boring not having it. Like, don't get me wrong, like it is nice, kind of when it's like the weekends. Like I like super dominated by these like track times and whatnot, but damn it, do I miss it, man? I need it to come back.
Well, it is even just since Sunday, the closing ceremonies ended. This has been the slowest 2 days because I'm like, what? I have nothing to watch because I was watching everything for the Olympics.
Yeah, no Olympics, no F1, and like we said too, kind of been a slow news week. So it's like, nothing's happened. It's just
I mean, we're not. I feel like that meme also makes sense for like what people want the rest of the season to look at because we've had so much wheel to wheel. So it's like a good what like the future should hopefully look like. No, I'm saying like, well, it's because IndyCar is on NBC, so they had a 2-week break for the Olympics. They're back this weekend, thankfully. But like, we're not that into NASCAR yet. Hope maybe we can, but like. They just had a pretty scandalous end to a race the other day. So, like, that at least there's something there. I think MotoGP's back. But, yeah, we're 9 days to go. 8 days to go until FP1 Zandvoort starts. And that's probably when I'll lose access to threads again because that's just how it goes. So
probably.
But, yeah. So that was our meme of the week. Before moving on, as always, before we get into our weekly news, our one piece of weekly news is today, coupon code is at the bottom of the screen for the ticker tape, but please use code underground10. Only Val is the yield to start when shopping at ipf1store.com for all your amazing custom drawings, F1 drawings on pictures you can hang up, sit on your desk, or there's mugs, travel mugs, hats, t-shirts, anything you can think of. So definitely head over to ipf1store.com. And like I said, use the code underground10 when shopping for 10% off. And also there's now some fun pieces on there. They started a blog. So get to read some of our fellow F1 threads, friends pieces over there, which is very, very cool. So
I'd love to see that.
Same. So do I. IndyCar news. It's with David Malukas, and it doesn't have to do with McLaren for once.
Yes. Has all of our IndyCar news this year been
because we didn't talk about last week the what's his name getting let go, one who's caused all the drama.
Yes. Oh God, what is his name?
From Coin or from hold on. I'm gonna blank. There hasn't been that much F1 news, has there? Or not F1. It's Canapino. He was let go from their parting ways for the remainder of the season. So he's no longer there. Although we did get back that Alexander Rossi will be back this week behind the wheel for McLaren, which is good news for McLaren. good news coming from our McLaren because like we said, it's always been pretty you don't know what you're getting. And considering the person we're now going to talk about, he was kind of started off the bad news this year with our McLaren drivers. But David Malukas has signed a multi-year contract starting in 2025 to race with AJ Foyt Racing, which is great. right now, the other two drivers are Santino Ferrucci, which he's a little bit. It's not the best track record. He's the one that's always going after Romain Grosjean during like practice sessions, and they're like fighting on the track. And then the best racing driver name ever, Stingray Robb. So
Stingray Robb.
Such a good name. But yes, so happy for David Malukas to find a home. We found a home, but now he's found a home for longer because he was supposed to be in our McLaren for a long time. And I mean, the races he had before their break with him coming back, he was in like the top 6 after their qualifying, like, and top 10 after each race. So he has the talent. So yeah, happy for him that he's found a home. So he deserves it after another bike accident that broke someone's wrist.
Classic.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I don't have this noted, but this is definitely F1 news. Oscar Piastri and the broken rib. And how he raced in Spa and Hungary with a broken rib.
Yeah.
Meaning he won in Hungary with a broken rib. Someone posted, I was going to send it to Dad. Someone posted it perfectly and said, this is some hockey player type shit. And I was like, that is
100%.
So it's literally a hockey player. That's what they would do.
Yeah. Like you hear about it, broken rib, and you're thinking like, okay, driver, not really doing that much physical activity, you would think, right? Like, all right, sure, maybe he can break with a broken rib or race with a broken rib. But if you think about the G-forces that they're feeling, and then that's just all on his chest, I can't imagine the pain that he was in. It's gotta suck. And it was funny, I saw the thing, and I was like, oh, what? I was like, he raced these 2 races with a broken rib? And I was like, there's no way. This just happened, or whatever. And then I saw Mark's article, and I was like, oh, shit. He raced with a broken rib. Yeah,
well, and like, because when he posted the picture of the X-ray, obviously it's like European, UK, how they have the dates. So it did make it look confusing. So it looked like it was on August 7th when the X-ray was taken, but it was July 8th. So he broke his rib after Silverstone or during Silverstone, which like, then you think back and you're like, I was literally just like, I want to go back and rewatch the race, like his onboard. Did he? I can't remember if he made contact with anyone. I don't think he did.
I don't remember anything. There's nothing race-wise that would make me think, okay, you broke, like, how did you
It's not like Yuki, who that crashed and everyone knew that he had like a bruised tailbone, which has to suck. But it's
gotta be brutal.
I can't imagine racing with a broken rib. I mean, like breathing with a broken rib can hurt. Like hurts.
That's what I'm saying. And then you're breathing with all those G-forces. Like, think like I'm like braking into a turn and I'm taking an inhale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all that pressure on your rib cage. Oh, can't even imagine.
No, I can't. Someone posted, they're like, can someone please tell us that Oscar told his mom about the broken rib cage before posting it on social media?
She probably had to reach out on Twitter again.
She's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you not tell me about your broken rib?
Yeah, like, hello. I remember, I think it was Monday, right? He posted it yesterday, waking up, and I was like, I saw people like talking about Oscar's broken rib. I was like, Oscar's broken rib? What? And then I went to his page. I was like, oh, Oscar's broken rib.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes. Oscar, we love you. Someone was like, maybe that was why his radio sounded like that after winning Hungary. Could have been.
It could have been. Yeah, he probably.
That was the first race after it broke, so it could have been with a number of things. But yeah, I mean that just, and also not to go off with how well he looked at the start of Hungary.
True. Yeah.
Like he looks, but it's more convincing. You break something, you cut yourself. As a McLaren driver, you win.
And I even posted a body part, you're going to win the next race.
And I even put it works for ex-McLaren drivers because it worked for Carlos.
Yes, yeah. It's all McLaren drivers. I'll say that right now. The next thing you know, Danny Ricks just got to break like a toe or something.
Someone was like, Danny, I mean, this time last year is when he broke his wrist, isn't it?
Yes. No. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. But yeah, someone was like, Danny Rick, quick. Like, cut your nose or something, because that's all it took for Lando.
Get like a little scratch on your arm or something. There you go.
Yep.
Good to go.
Good to go. Yes. Moving on to our topic for this week's episode. It might be another shorter episode because, like we said, there hasn't been that much going on. But this was fun. I enjoyed thinking back.
This is such a good question from Frey and such a good conversation topic. So thank you, Frey, for submitting this.
Yeah, I let her know that that's what this episode was about. So as a refresh, last week's question in the F1 threads, mailbag from Fred. Frey. That's Owen's nickname.
Yeah.
From Frey is, I don't know if you did this already, but could you do a team-by-team review of the first half of the season, going over ups and downs, progresses, etc., thoughts about what can happen next? So, like I said, Owen and I split up the teams into 5, and then I just wrote down some notes. I'm sure you did as well.
Yes, I did.
So, like, we could probably go one after another, but, like,
let's alternate.
Yeah. So, I don't know where you want to start. If you want to start with, you know what was hard for the teams that, like, aren't doing well? Think of something that was, like, good. Yeah.
I can start if you want me to go first.
That's fine.
I'll start with the top of my list, which is, as we all know, McLaren. So ups, the 2 things that I wrote for my ups for McLaren this year, I think it'd be pretty obvious. Lando's maiden win, Oscar's maiden win. Regardless of the controversy that surrounded, Oscar's first win in Hungary, you got the win. You now have a season where you can say we had both of our drivers get their maiden wins in this year and potentially more wins in the season. And you can kind of tag on to that. Like, hey, they got their first win and then they went on to win 2 more races, 1 more race, stuff like that. There's that potential there. The downside of McLaren's first half of the year is team strategy. It has been the glaring number 1 issue with the team. Everything is clicking right now. I mean, there's not a lot to say that is going wrong at McLaren. I would say that team strategy is the number 1. I would say the number 2 is Lando's starts. That would be it. Those are like the 2 biggest things. So if we said this multiple times, I feel like there's going to be a lot of this too as we talk about this. It's just like, if they can figure that out, they're setting themselves up for better. Now, what I think is coming next, that is an absolute, I'm going to use my quote here too, because I think it explains it perfectly. An absolute banger of a title fight between McLaren and Red Bull. I think it's going to happen from now to the end of the season. And I think that McLaren as a team sees that opportunity that lies ahead with them now, especially too with the confirmation of, okay, Checo's here to stay at Red Bull. I think they're going to take that. They can see their opportunity and they're like, we're fucking going at it. Like we're getting there, and
Zach Brown's not letting them not try and capitalize on that opportunity to walk away Constructors Championships. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I think for them, this is kind of how I answered the question for, I think, all the teams. I tried to put myself in the team situation and what are we coming out of summer break focusing on? And that is right now to me, the biggest number 1 thing at McLaren that they need to focus on is this constructors fight. You figure out all the kind of downs that I talked about, Lando starts, team strategy, you got yourself a title fight on your hands. So I think that is what comes next for McLaren. Along with, I will say too, on like a smaller detail, I think Lando's getting another win this year. I would
not be shocked if either one of them gets another win this year.
Yeah, I definitely think that either Lando or Oscar is getting another win this year. But that is my thought on what's next for McLaren.
You would think with the way the championship is, they would prioritize Lando if he's in the front to get him that extra win to take those points away from Red Bull and Mercedes and Ferrari. Yeah, you would hope that's how it would go. I also looked at what happens next as what can happen the rest of the season. So, okay, to no surprise, if Owen did McLaren, that means I'm going to talk about Ferrari.
What a shocker.
We're so original.
We're pulling a plot twist on anybody.
Yeah. So for some ups, I put the start of their season, and I also put the Australia and Monaco in. I know Charles had some weird flukes at the start of the season and like didn't have brake pressure that one time and like all this stuff, but they still managed to keep a decent streak of like top 5 finishes for the majority of the start of the season.
Right.
But yeah, obviously Carlos is winning Australia, Charles winning Monaco. Huge for them considering last year they only had one.
Yep.
After the year before having multiple wins. So yeah, I said that. I also said Ollie's debut was also a very big up.
That's a great up. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels so long ago talking about it, but just the pressure he was under, throwing him in that car compared to the F2 car that he was driving, and the fact that he's still 14th in the standings is pretty. And I still, to this day, that drive and him finishing in the points and him fighting with Lewis Hamilton for most of that race is the reason why he's in that hot seat. They were probably
absolutely.
he was already on the radar, but then after that, they were like, it's a no-brainer.
That was definitely the closing the ticket of like, yes, he's coming up the Haas. And I mean, just like you said, the weight of being thrown into that car last minute, and not just any F1 car, it's Ferrari. So it's like there's so much legacy and there's so much weight on just a history standpoint there for Ollie. So that's a big. I like that pick. Those are good picks.
Jeddah, which is a street night race, like what?
Yeah,
like, what's the most pressure anyone can be put under? And the gift that keeps on giving with his dad, that will go down in history as an iconic one.
Stressed out parent in existence.
Yeah. You know what they should put on him next year, like how they did at the Olympics, like for gymnasts, they gave the parents like heart race monitors.
Ooh,
they should give that to Ollie's dad.
Yes.
Like track him because I'm sure his heart rate is through the roof.
Gotta be through the roof.
Yeah. For Ferrari, the downs of the year, I put the upgrades that are more like downgrades because they did not work for them when they first brought them. I will be blunt and honest. And then also sacrificing too much quali pace or race pace.
Yes, that's a big one.
When Charles Leclerc, who is like amazing at qualifying, is struggling in qualifying because he'll put that car on. I mean, we saw it in freaking Spa. That car had no speed, but he put it on. He was on the limit. When he's even struggling to put that car on the limit, there's an issue there. I don't know if you put anything like any progresses. I just put their hiring for the future, including drivers for coming up, aka Lewis Hamilton. Engine, just that little Indy driver.
Drivers, just kind of like backfilling their farm system. You know, that's what it is.
And I also put like engineers and mechanics. But then for what happens next or the second half of the season, seeing how they finish the season, can they finish the season strong? Can they get back closer to McLaren to then give us a bigger battle, or is it going to be between them and Mercedes again at the end? And then also like the individual driver standings. Can Charles get back? Because you would think these last few races is when communication about the car will probably die off more with Carlos. So does priority then now go to Charles more, helping him get closer to Lando? And can Charles turn around? Last year at this time of the year, he turned around and had a monster end of the season. So can he do the same thing? That was my Ferrari. Now that we got our favorites out of the way.
Now that we got the favorites, let's jump to everybody's least favorite in Red Bull. So I covered Red Bull.
Not you, Threads admin. Not you.
Not you, Threads admin. You're great. We love you. Don't take this personally. We know you're a social media admin. We don't know. We know you don't. You're not involved with the car at all. Did you like that close up of my forehead?
Yeah, that was like your 5 head.
The bright shining spot right here. I feel like SpongeBob when the king takes off his hat and scream ball. All right, Red Bull. So ups. This was really tough for me because
there hasn't been a lot.
Right. And my thought with it was, what was the one thought that the whole F1 community, the F1 world had going into the season? That was Red Bull's going to win every race. and it's going to be 20 to 30 seconds ahead. So in terms of ups, I don't have anything because they haven't been doing that. So you can't look at that as an up. And if they win a race right now, it's a yay victory, but it's a nail biter. It's so I couldn't think of anything. On the flip side, on the flip side, there have been a lot of downs this year for Red Bull. You have Adrian Newey leaving at the beginning of the year. That is, as we've said many a times, the direct reason why their performance lately has been on a downward slide.
That meme of the dominoes, he's the big one at the start.
Yes, he's the big one at the start. Following that, or before that, I think actually, you had the whole Christian Horner saga.
Yeah, that's before.
Which just starts off the year on a bad taste. Whatever. That's that. And then you get into the Checo, Sergio starting off the year great, and then just, again, similar to Red Bull performance in general, downward slide of just struggles, not making qualifying, not scoring points, and just generally just causing Max to put the team on his back and carry as much as he can, which is right now not a lot because a lot of the other teams have stepped up and have produced great machines and have produced great races because of that. So, yeah, there's a lot of downs. And in terms of progresses, again, they haven't really done anything. It's been. I almost said bless you there. Almost said bless you there.
So I muted real quick.
It's just it feels like Red Bull still thinks that they're kind of the giant in the field. And they haven't really taken that many steps to kind of figure everything out. So not much in terms of progresses. Now, what should be next for them? And I really do think the priority is getting Max and the RB20 back to where they should be technically, and that's at the top of the podium. And it's kind of like do whatever needs to be done to get that to happen. It's just at that point right now, you need to go into the second half of the year asserting your dominance again. And you know what? If we have a race coming up, if Zandvoort at the end of that race, it's a Max 20-second victory, I'm not going to be upset with that because Red Bull needs to do something to kind of assert their dominance and say, we're back. We actually never fucking left.
Yeah.
We just struggled for a bit, but we're still here.
And he's going to be on a different, that's his home race. That's his home race. He's going to be on another level. And I looked it up. Last time he won was Spain. That was June 23rd. That was the last time Max won.
That is wild. We're almost 3 months out from the last time Max has won. We're almost, 2 months out.
2 months.
But yeah, and I think this is, I put this with my thoughts next because I felt like I wanted to bring it up, but it's not really like anything they can do. It almost feels like Red Bull is at this point of the hand is hovering over the panic button, but it's not pressing it yet. Again, it kind of goes into that mentality of we're still the giant, we're still the good guys or the winners of this, but it's somebody's saying that looking at Christian Horner, and then it's right behind them. They're but the button's right here, the button is right there for us to hit. So. That's kind of Red Bull. I feel like it's just it's been a season of downs so far for that. I mean, it's it's crazy because they're not doing really bad. They're still winning the constructors. They're still winning the drivers' championships right now. So it's they're not doing bad. It's just not what we have come to expect from Red Bull. So
no, over the past 3 years now.
Right.
I like it. Is that all you had for them?
That is all I had.
Is that your one? Okay. Mercedes. I'm going to tackle Mercedes, so I'm kind of going to go out of order because of something they posted helped me with this. So good. I'm going to do downs first.
Okay.
And then ups. So I have literally twice slow start to this season. Someone on the Instagram post they have, the top comment is, so before the email versus after the email?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Let 'em have it.
Yeah. Also, I think the disqualification for George, I think they're going to bounce back fine, but it obviously puts a stain on how successful they've been the last few rounds.
Yeah.
The ups, I think. Oh, sorry. To go off of the slow start, so they posted this point scored rounds 1 through 7, and then 8 through 14, which is all we've had so far. So rounds 1 through 7, they only scored 79 points.
Okay.
Only 1 through 7. Mm-hmm.
Only 79 points?
Yeah. That's when you had Lewis on the radio like, this car sucks. Like, he was miserable.
That's when he was on Hot Ones, and Sean asked him, how is it to drive the car? And he said, right now, not good.
Not good. Yeah, he was honest. The ups, before I get into the points from rounds 8 through 14, I feel like it really did start from George jumping from P4 to P1.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you what race. I can't remember exactly what race it was. I feel like it was Canada or right before. But since then, they've been so consistent. The two of them, but the front and the top 4 fighting for the podium every single weekend. Are you ready? Rounds 8 through 14. They have scored 187 points.
They more than doubled their points from the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
So they also include Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren on this graphic as well. So
interesting.
To go back to your Red Bull rounds 1 through 7 scored 268 points.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Rounds 8 through 14, 140. It's awful.
Brutal. That's such a decline.
And McLaren's only in front of Mercedes with 212 points from rounds 8 through 14. Like, Mercedes has been on their trail.
They're coming. Yeah, they're really coming.
Yeah, so those are my ups and downs I wanted to see. I think the progress is, I feel like since the no side pods, the crazy bouncing on the track, they have had, that car is coming back to what it should be, what it should have been. Since 2021, it should have been exactly this. Like, it should never have went down in progression. What could happen next if they can keep the momentum? And I think they can keep that momentum. I think, like I said, that
would be huge.
Yeah, that car is in a good spot. Like I said, if we can have we have now rounded out the top 4. If we can have a fight with the top 4 teams going into the last few rounds,
I'm gonna love it. Oh my god!
Someone asked saying like, what races should I watch for the upcoming for F1? I think because with NASCAR ending, which ones should they pay attention to? And I literally was all of them. I was like, because they've been so close. Different people are winning. I was like, all of them. I was like, I feel like you're going to be. You can't miss these races coming up. And then that's obviously for next year. What happens next? But Kimi, just announce it. There is rumors that it's going to be announced during Monza, which does make sense because Kimi is Italian, so doing it at his home race would be cool. But that's my what happens next. So
that's it. They're, like you said, they're on the charge, and it's I remember we started out this season, and I remember saying that McLaren was only 3 points or something behind Mercedes in constructor standings, or whatever it was. And then the first couple races, my mindset was, okay, distance yourself from Mercedes in the constructor standing. You overtake them in the constructors, now distance yourself. And they did that. And then now my kind of mindset switched to, okay, can we catch Ferrari? Which they did. But with the way Mercedes has been going, especially if they come out hot in Zandvoort, my mindset might switch back to as long as you're beating the Mercedes, the top 4 right now, and it goes into what you're saying with watch all the races. And it's they're all at this point so vital and they're so important, if this were last year, we would tell you okay, watch Zandvoort because it's the first one coming back from the break. Watch whatever one would be if Max finishes this, he clinches the driver championship. Watch that, and then
watch Vegas was the first one. Watch the last one.
Watch the last race. Done. Right, that's what we would have told you. But right now, every single race, super critical, so
Yeah.
vital.
And they're all brilliant times except for Vegas at 1 a.m. They're literally all such good times. Yeah, there's so much, especially like watch it going back to Spa. When have we focused that much on the front of the pack in the past 2 years on the broadcast? Never. Because Max was off in La La Land watching the race on the boards.
The primetime coverage was watching spots like 3 to 6, 3 to 7. Like that's what you were watching.
I also feel like Mercedes they're kind of on the same trajectory as McLaren last year with the way they've come back, but they've been able to rack up 3 wins now when McLaren couldn't last year. So, which has obviously helped massively.
Oh yeah.
I love the people that are like, so like they're delusional. They're like, so if I need this, and this to happen for Lewis to win his 8th championship this year.
It's literally the Jim Carrey meme of you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, so you're telling me this. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. But go ahead. Next team.
Jump into our next British team. We have Mercedes is German. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're just located in.
Yes. Jumping to neighbors physically. Aston Martin.
Oh, Linus, this one's for you. I gave Aston Martin on purpose for you, Linus, if you're listening.
I'm not mean to Stroll in this.
Okay.
I'm not. Hear me out, all right? Ups. Up is like, the up that I have is very small, but it's also kind of like it got really overshadowed. And that was Fernando Alonso's one-stopper race.
Yes, it got so overshadowed.
That got overshadowed by George Russell's one-stopper race. And then eventual disqualification. I think that goes to show like a lot of the experience of Fernando Alonso. I think it goes to show that he's a great driver. Not that we didn't know that, but regardless, like I said, it's not really an up, but it's like the only thing that I can really think of. I'm going to make a joke, and I swear to God, if this comes true, I'm going to lose my mind in the sense that news always breaks right after we record. So a huge up for them. And I want to call this now because I'm really hoping this happens. Yeah. And if Aston Martin signs Adrian Newey, you could really, really make an argument for that's a bigger signing for Aston Martin than Lewis Hamilton was for Ferrari. You could really make an argument for that. So I'm saying it now. If in case it happens, an up for this year would be Adrian Newey going to Aston Martin. And if the amount of money that he's getting is what I've heard, it's disgusting. It's like $100 million.
It's like what Snoop was getting paid to be at the Olympics.
Right. So there you go. The downs. And I feel like this is painfully obvious. It's just their overall performance this year.
Yeah.
In relation to last year. We came out last year. I remember us watching practices last year, first test sessions, and thinking, holy shit, that Aston Martin looks like a rocket ship. And they went in through half of the year and were title fighters. We were like, oh my God, they have a chance to fight with Red Bull. This is awesome. This is insane.
That Fernando Alonso hype train was huge.
Yeah, huge. So going into then a little bit of, half of the year last year and also this year, their overall performance is a huge negative for them. So I looked it up, and Alonso has only scored in 9 of the 14 races that we've had so far. Lance Stroll has only scored in 6.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. So, again, looking at this compared to how we started and how we started last year and everything, huge down for them. And this kind of goes into progress is not much. But again, if Adrian Newey gets signed, okay, there you go. There's your progress.
Mm-hmm.
For right now, working with the facts, focusing on what next is midseason development needs to get an overhaul. Just figure out what is going on in terms of not making good choices for midseason development and figure it out so that you can get sustained performance increases throughout the year. That is, if I'm Lawrence Stroll, I'm looking at the team, and that's what I'm telling them. Do whatever you need to do. Figure it out why all of a sudden, when we're in the middle of the season, we push out these upgrades, and they're shit. They're garbage. And it's, here you go. You know, so that's Aston. Again, I'm going to lose my mind if tomorrow the news breaks that Adrian Newey is going to Aston. But
I'm going to say pull Mark and text you eyeballs if that happens.
I'll freak out.
Yeah.
But that's Aston.
That's Aston. That was nice. I gave you Aston to be funny, so that was good though.
It honestly didn't even cross my mind to
well, I guess we were looking at it as a team whole, not like drivers.
I mean, if you want me to be
no,
a down is still that he hasn't fucking taken responsibility for his crash back in the Danny Rick. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Speaking of Danny Rick, V-Carb. Visa Cash App, Racing Bulls, buy one, get one free. That team.
Yeah.
The Junior Racing Bulls. Junior Red Bulls. I could not really think of anything up-wise.
I don't blame you.
I feel like the one thing I could say, since that first race where they weirdly made Yuki switch with Daniel Ricciardo, ever since then, it seems like they just have clean race weekends. They're sometimes this close to the points, or they're in 9th or 10th.
Yep.
So they're just slowly collecting points. There hasn't been that many crashes, I feel like, compared to years past with them. So those were my ups. They're not a lot. It was, like I said, it was hard to think of some. The down for them, the team strategy is awful. Whatever they did to Daniel Ricciardo in Hungary, that shit show. Also, bringing it back, the Yuki switch at the beginning of the year, I still don't get, because it wasn't like he was fighting for points. It just didn't make sense.
Weird.
Yeah, the team strategy just does not make sense. But again, it is their first year with Laurent McKee as team principal. Could be some growing pains, rough patches. They'll figure it out. I also said that their upgrades have not worked great either. There was so much hype about their upgrades a few races ago, and they were awful. They were non-existent on that track. So those are my ups and downs. I have nothing for any progresses. Literally nothing.
They haven't done anything.
No. For what happens next, obviously the question, what's going to happen with Liam? Is he going to take that seat? Is Daniel Ricciardo going to go somewhere? What's going to happen? And then if they just make any more changes to the team, like I said, their upgrades haven't been working great. Can they make some changes on that front? Can they get their team strategy under control? Just figure it out. They are having a good year as technically a new team, since they are new name, new look, new team principal, but can they go up from there? But yeah, I knew that one was going to be short. These next ones are going to be short.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's just what can we say? But Haas, they do have an up this year. Yeah, they do have an up this year. It's obviously Ayo Komatsu becoming team principal. Yeah. I think we've talked, we've said it before. I love Gunther. I think he's hilarious. I think he was smart. I think he put up a lot of shit at Haas.
Yeah.
I think they needed a change. And obviously, you're going to switch out a team principal when you can't really switch out your drivers.
Yep.
The other up is the signing of Ali Behrman. I mean, that is going off of what we said with Ferrari and everything. You see his performance being tossed in a car. What was that? 2 hours before the race?
Yeah. Or that one. Yeah.
That the practice that he did, he was notified very quickly. So having him come in with his rookie year, you race at Haas for a little bit, you get kind of, you see what you can do there. That's a big win for them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of really my ups. My joking up that I wrote down because I wanted to be funny was they don't have any more fucking door smashes, which is nice. So that's good. That's good for them. The downs, this one was really tough for me because this is kind of the flip side of Red Bull, where it was their performance has been poorish, but it's kind of what we no from Haas. You know, it's
But I feel like it hasn't been as bad as it has been before.
no, it's definitely, like I said, that's why I said, like, it's poor-ish. You know, it's like we have a few qualifying blips where it's like, holy shit, you know, K-Mag or Nico's in third. You know, it's like, oh my God. You know, but then it's like in the race, they don't really capitalize on it that much. So that's kind of it. You know, they've made the progresses. You know, they signed Ali, they signed Esteban. You know, seems like they're doing things right to kind of right the ship a little bit. And I think that's also what my thoughts on what's next for Haas is. Don't scrap this year. Obviously, you're still competing, you're still fighting for points, but at this point, maybe round 16, round 17, you kind of go full force on focusing for next year. You know, you have this new revamped driver lineup. You have, new team principal, going into a sophomore year with the team. Focus on that. Go for that. And it's your last year to kind of figure stuff out until new regs come in. So it's like,
yeah,
there you go. So that's really it for Haas. I mean, like I said, it's just like they've made the moves to kind of right the ship, but as of right now, they haven't really done anything like super, super special just with their current lineup this year. So that's kind of it.
Kind of it. Well, like I said, I think these next few are going to be quick.
Yeah.
We are going in standing order. So I've done it on purpose. I just gave you 1 and 2, me 3 and 4. And then you went 5, I went 6, you went 7, I went 8.
Oh. Right. Good call.
So Alpine.
Ugh.
Their up is their F1 their Threads admin. That's their up.
Can I add them up?
Yeah.
Their Deadpool and Wolverine helmet.
Yeah, that too.
I'll give them that up.
That entire that they killed that theme. So their ups are the Threads admin and their Deadpool Wolverine.
Good work.
Downs. Downs.
Do we have enough time for all these downs?
I'll make it quick. It's kind of wrapped into one. There's still, sorry if you hear the helicopter. There's just still too much inner team tension.
Yeah. And
constant changes going on within that team. And it was clear, I think that Monaco crash was breaking, it just broke the back of that team because I feel like that was the final straw. Yeah, I feel like we all heard rumors, inklings that there was even team members weren't staying in the same hotel. I think there was just too much tension inside. And then firing your team principal in the middle of the season last year, bringing in someone that really doesn't have motorsport experience as the team principal, bringing in 2 drivers that everyone knows don't get along.
Do not like each other.
Magically don't think they're going to work well together, which didn't. That's just, I think it's just the tension and the constant changes is their biggest downfall this year. I feel like it's overshadowing anything else. If they have a decent race weekend, Pierre has finished in the points a few times, but I would not know because there's always on track battling between the teammates. Just stuff is overshadowing it. Any progresses? I do feel like there is some sort of, maybe because he's out the door, there is still some calmness or sort of calmness since Ocon has been quote unquote fired.
Yeah.
I know we had 2 races with him, but I felt like.
Yeah, but it's got to be it's this idea of there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming to an end. It's not like they're dealing with all this shit and they're sitting there thinking God, when is this gonna fucking stop? Now at least you're just make it through this year. It'll be done after that.
Yeah. For what happens next, kind of going back to the constant changes, I am excited to see what this team principal can do. And he is starting next week. He will be in Zandvoort on that pit wall. So I feel like finally having one person set in stone, there's no one known who's this team principal for Alpine going to be. And then I think the rest will start to fall into place. And then also, I feel like they hinted at it today. They soft-launched Jack Doohan with that picture of his eyes. Does he get announced as an other seat? I think he does at this point, because there's now rumors that Audi is going after Mick, which makes sense.
Yes.
I said before, it makes sense. So yeah, I think that's going forward what the new team principal can do, and then Jack getting that seat. But yeah, that was my Alpine. That was really hard, I have to say.
Right.
Now the next one was just as hard.
Williams. This one actually wasn't that bad.
And look, Williams is not, because they've had a like this year.
So my biggest up for Williams is obviously the signing of Carlos Sainz. It's the biggest move they've made this year. I think it really goes to show that they're confident in this rebuild phase of themselves, and they're sitting there thinking like, okay, we're making the moves to kind of rebuild this team to what it needs, what it used to be. We need a driver to reflect that. They went out and got Carlos Sainz to do that. I think that's a huge up for them. That's really like the biggest thing that I can think of. That's honestly the only thing that I can think of. We've talked about, James kind of doing his rebuild and his, reinvigoration of technology in Williams and whatnot, but that's been known. He's been doing that for a while now and everything. Yeah. So I think definitely now in the first half of this year, the biggest thing has been the signing of Carlos Sainz. The downside of it, and this to me is more of a personal one. Like, it's more of an opinion of mine and less of more like a factual thing. That has been like, it's been Logan Sargent's performance this year. And it sucks to watch because I was genuinely really excited for Logan. I had such high hopes from him. We'd heard so much stuff from the offseason. We had the commitment from James. He was like, we're doing what we can and what we want to do to make Logan a better driver. You heard about Logan's new training program that was making him so much stronger, so much stronger and healthier. And then you just had like also just a simple fact of coming off of like your freshman year in Formula One. Like you're a year in now, you're a year more experienced than you were before. You have all this knowledge, and I was really, really looking forward to him performing well and doing what he needed to do to be better, so it sucks to see him still kind of struggling and obviously him lose his seat. So going on to what's next, I think at this point, more so than Haas, Williams needs to scrap the rest of this year, focus on 2025 when you get Carlos in the seat, and then probably even more importantly focus on 2026. Yeah. And that's jump on those new regulations, figure it out, and develop that. Again, you're in a rebuild phase. So at this point, saying to people, hey, yes, we know right now we're not going to perform, but don't worry, we have this 2-year plan set in stone, and we know what we need to do to make 2026 a good year. Your fan base is immediately going to be like, cool, we'll wait for that. Yeah. We're okay with that. As long as we know something is happening to make this team better. So that's a huge thing for them. I think the focus is jumping on those new regulations in 2026 and building a car around Carlos Sainz that just performs, So
I saw an article today saying that I don't know if it was like an opinion piece or if it was like factual, stating that like next year could also be a wash for Williams because they want to focus on 2026, the new regs, with 2 competent drivers that are going to be behind the wheel of that car. So I just see that. I also think going back to Logan with the point you made, him being taken off the grid during Australia because Alex needed the chassis, I think was a knock on his confidence because I
can only imagine.
They didn't even blink an eye. They were just like, oh yeah, actually Alex is going to, even though he just crashed, Alex is going to drive your car. Yeah. So I think that was a big knock on his confidence. But yeah, like they've had a decent, like I've said it time and time again, I have faith in James Vowell. I think He is the perfect person for that team. He might be the perfect person as team principal to go into 2026 with new regs. That man is a genius.
He's so smart. So smart.
So he might be the perfect person to build a car. We could see like an underdog story of the year in Williams 2026. Could you imagine? Okay, last but not least, Sauber.
Oh. I genuinely forgot about these guys. I literally just finished talking about Williams, and I was like, cool, that's done.
Sauber.
Sauber.
They're up. I'm obsessed with their livery. Seeing it in person was very cool.
Yeah.
I do feel like maybe I just don't pay attention to them enough. I do feel like they maybe just Valtteri Bottas. He does do a decent job in qualifying. He can get that car into Q2 pretty regularly. I feel like it's still a shock if he goes out in Q1.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe that. I also, just because it was his first home race, China and Joe is still maybe one of my favorite moments of the season. It's up there with Charles winning in Monaco. Just the way that crowd embraced Joe at the end was so amazing.
So cool to see.
Yeah. Their downfall? Those pit stops.
Oh, God. I knew you were going to say it, and I still
pit
hurts
stops
to hear.
Where I could maybe get dressed for the workday, make my lunch, brew some coffee, and they're still trying to figure out what to do with the car. Yeah. Oh, I meant to say, I feel like also their ups, like, we all thought Joe was going to be out in Hungary, and they were able to, or not Hungary, in Spa, and they were able to do whatever, fix it, and he was able to finish the race. So I do think that was going for him, that it wasn't just a wash of a weekend. I couldn't really say anything progress. I feel like they just fly under the radar each race week. They're not crashing out. They're not up in the points. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Valtteri Bottas has still not scored any points, and it has to be like an all-time record for him and his career in F1.
No, he definitely has. No, he hasn't scored any points yet.
No. And then what happens next? I'm looking more towards Audi because that's what's coming next for that team. I think next year is also a wash for them completely.
Yeah.
I think, is Valtteri Bottas hinting at something today, or is he just showing that he's at a shoot? Did you see his Instagram story?
I did not see his Instagram story.
He posted I think he might be at a brand shoot, but the car that he was with was an Audi. So people are like, Valtteri,
is he?
Are you hinting at something?
Interesting.
Yeah. Mark wrote an article on it. I think the biggest question is obviously who gets that next seat. Is it Valtteri? Do they bring in Mick Schumacher? And then what other changes or people are they bringing in? I have a feeling they're cleaning house when it becomes Audi. I feel like it's going to change drastically, like team personnel.
I would not be shocked.
Yeah. So if anything, I could see Valtteri Bottas, if he does get the seat, being, well, no, Nico's going to be there next year, so it'll be him going into when it becomes Audi. But yeah, that's what happens next is really geared towards Audi. But
right.
Those were our team by team reviews, which was, like I said, it was a very fun topic. Very fun topic. Thank you, Frey.
Yes, thank you, Frey.
Before we get into F1 Threads mailbag, which we have another question from, guess who? Frey.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's Frey, but I'm blanking all the time.
Like I said, it's another slow news week, so there really wasn't that many topics. But
yeah,
Frey did give a good, what if question. So, but go ahead first before we get into.
Our F1 Threads mailbag is brought to you by our friends over at Duracell, and specifically their new portable power stations. From the #1 trusted battery brand, Duracell Portable Power Stations and charging hubs allow you to power your laptops, mobile devices, lights, speakers, and any small electronics that make your life easier during a power outage or away from a wall outlet. There were just massive, big storms that rolled through here recently. And it was kind of freaky because I was here alone and the lights were just going on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this sucks because I'm sitting here and I had to charge my phone. So I went and put that on my dedicated charging stand. And then I was like, I'll grab my iPad just in case. But then I was worried that if the power went out, then my iPad would be useless because I don't have cellular on my iPad. It's just Wi-Fi. And if the power's out, then the Wi-Fi's out. So I was like, man, it would be awesome to use my just portable power station if this goes out. So it's super critical. It's super crucial. It's so nice to have. Having that confidence and just knowing if, God forbid, if the power does go out, I have something that I can just plug my phone into. I'll be charged. I'll be ready to go for the eventuality that I need to charge my phone and the power's out. So please click the link in the description below and check out the Duracell Portable Power Stations, including their 2024 Red Dot Award-winning M150 and M250 models, and untether your device charging from the wall and power the possibilities with Duracell Portable Power Stations.
Yes. Now, F1 Threads mailbag. Like I said, this will be quick.
Threads mailbag.
So I feel like this episode should also be brought to you by Frey because, well.
True. Thank you, Frey.
Mm-hmm. You're right. So the question, like I said, it's kind of like a what if. Do you think Max will leave Red Bull in the near future if they don't win the Constructors this year and doesn't win the World Drivers' Championship next year?
God, that's such a good question. Hold on. I'm a visual person. I gotta read this real fast. Again.
I have thoughts, so I can start if you want me to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I see him leaving Red Bull going into new regulations. That's my only. I don't see him like up and leaving before 2026. Maybe if Aston Martin does get Newey and they turn that ship right around, and there are rumors that Aston Martin wants Max as well. And I think they would give him whatever. Also, doesn't have to go very far in terms of factory travel wise.
True.
So, I do see it. I could see it maybe if Newey turns that team around and they're now the fighting at the top. But I don't know if I see it going into 2026. I think he's smart enough. He's very smart. I think he knows what he needs in order to win, and I think if Red Bull continues the downfall and he sees an opening in another team going into a year after the new regs, I could definitely see him leaving. And then that news would be bigger than Lewis Hamilton coming to Ferrari.
Oh God, yeah, that would easily overtake as the biggest news story of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I agree with you. I can't see him completely giving up on Red Bull before these new regs come out. I think if, let's say they go into the new regs and he doesn't win, I give him maybe 2 years tops in the new regs.
Yeah.
With Red Bull. It's tough. He's got 3 wins already with Red Bull. And I'm sure he wants to continue that dynasty. I'm sure he wants to overtake Lewis, for the 7 world championships and with it one team, in a row. And I'm sure, he wants to do that. He wants to win. He wants to be the best. But yeah, I mean, I especially now with Newey gone, that I can see him year or 2 tops going into these new regs, kind of being like, we're struggling. There's no sign of it turning around. I'm out of here. See ya. He likes a challenge,
Yeah, he does.
So, yeah, I could see it, but not this year or next year. I could see it 2 years, like I said, 2 years tops after the new regs.
Yeah, I agree. But yes, that was F1 Threads mailbag. Thank you again for everyone submitting questions week after week. It really is, I think, a fun new segment we've started. Which I really enjoy. And it's always fun, especially after a race that's like chaotic, and we've had a few of them the past few rounds.
Yeah.
To like ask some other questions that we may not have thought of or whatever. So yeah, it is definitely, I like doing this segment. But yes, announcement time.
I am so beyond excited for this. And it's so much fun because
you're a huge fan.
Yes.
I am too, but you love this thing.
I'm so excited. So you may have seen, if anybody follows us, you may have seen that there's an app called BoxBox. BoxBox Club is the full name of it.
Yeah.
It's on iOS and Android right now. And it essentially is just an F1, all-around F1 app. it compiles news, it compiles standings, it compiles information about the circuits. It's your one-stop shop for everything F1. And I have said to Casey since we started the show and I've discovered that app, I said I would love to work with them. I would absolutely love it. It would be a dream come true to work with them. So 2 weeks ago, they posted a thing saying, hey, if anybody wants to, reach out about being a brand affiliate, please do so. And don't you know it?
Somehow.
We fucking applied. And Casey sent me a text message this morning with all exclamation points. And they answered and they said, you've been chosen for the brand affiliate program. And I am so excited for this. So it really it's such a good F1 app. It is so easy to use. It's so easy to understand the moment you get into it. It's got so many cool features. And it's just the fact that we now have this F1 partnership or a partnership with something that is directly related to F1 is so cool. And I'm so excited. And I really just want to thank Box for picking us and everything. And like I said, this is me talking as a user, but also talking now as a partner. So it's I'm so excited about it.
And let alone the graphics they have, the way, just the layout. I have it on my computer as well as my phone. So my lock screen has the little widget for points and stuff, but on my computer I have more. It's so well designed. The app, it's grabs your attention. Yeah, it's the little driver. They have I can look right now. The little card I have for Charles, it has a little picture of him in his helmet. That's just so cool because it just makes it more eye-catching. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it is that's a very good way to put it. It is so much more than just your bland I used to think that the F1 website was a wealth of knowledge and information and it looked really good. This is so much better. I'm sorry, F1. This app is so much better, and you can tell that it's built with love and it's built so well.
It's built by fans for fans. I feel like that's the perfect way to say it.
That is a great way to put it. So with this brand association now, what does that get you, our viewers? So very similar to our partnership with IPF1, we are getting a discount code. It's going to be almost the same thing as IPF1. It is underground without the vowels, except for the starting U, 30. Instead of the 10, it's underground 30. And that gets you 30% off their ultra plan. So they have a free plan. You can get the app completely free if you'd like. You can also sign up for their ultra plan. They have a monthly subscription. They also have a lifetime purchase. And it gets you the ultra plan. I bought it before we were working with these guys at all. I bought this. It gets you so many different things. Specifically, the one thing that I love, all the watch stuff. If you have an Apple Watch, it builds beautifully right into it. I have so many widgets plastered all over my phone too, of just that constantly keep me up to date on Lando Norris's position in the leaderboard and how many points he has, and McLaren's position in the leaderboard. And they're so cool. They tell you how long until the next race, how much percentage of the season are we, through.
Yeah.
It is so cool. Again, I know I'm rambling, but I'm just I'm so excited about this. So please, like I said, our code is underground 30, no vowels except for the starting U. Please go in, download the app if you really want to. Get the subscription, use that code. Let them know that
subscription's worth it.
Yeah, the subscription is really worth it. Let them know that you're coming from us. It would mean the world to us.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this announcement too that I wanted to do is just another huge thank you to all of the people that are listening and watching us. We've said it how many times, a year and a half ago, we knew that the only people that we were talking to was our mom and dad, and it's amazing to see all these people that now have come out and have followed us and have, joined us in this building of this community, especially on Threads too, of all these F1 fans and all these new F1 fans. And it's so exciting to now bring this to you guys as an opportunity to grow and love the sport even more. and give something back to you guys. So please, like I said, it is Underground 30, no vowels except for the leading U. You get 30% off with their Ultra plan. Use that code. It lets them know that you're coming from us, which is huge. It helps the show grow. And I really, again, I want to say thank you so much to all the fans that listen to us, all the people who follow us, and listen, and say thank you to Box as well. It is genuinely a dream come true to work with you guys, and I'm so excited about it.
I know. I feel like we might have mentioned it during a recording, like very early on. I should go back and like listen to early episodes because you have said from day one, you're like, if we could work with Box at one point.
I know for a fact there's an episode where I go, hey, I found this app called Box and it's awesome. I know for a fact there's an episode where that happens. So
yeah, there definitely is. But yeah, it's so cool. It's like Owen said, it's such a close extension to the real F1 world, which is our goal when we first started this.
Yes.
But yeah, we can't thank everyone enough for continuing to support us, listen to us, ramble, interact with us on social media, always. So yeah, like Owen said, code is Underground 30. I will post it on all our socials as well, so you can easily find it. The link will be in our link tree as well. So yeah, I mean, anything else you want to add, Owen?
No, I got my tech and F1 rant, and
I know. There's literally it's literally the perfect thing for you because it's F1 and tech rolled into one.
So much fun. I shit you not. I got that text from you this morning, and I saw the exclamation points at first, and I thought I was like, oh my god, maybe it's a team messaging us, something like that. And then when I opened to see it was Box saying like, hey, you've been accepted or chosen, I was like, this is so much better. I was like, I'm so happy now. It's awesome.
No, it was very cool to wake up to that message. But yes, thank you all for listening to episode 72 of F1 Underground. As always, our socials are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Please go give us a follow over on Instagram and Threads. Also over on Twitter as well. Please give us a follow wherever you listen to this podcast, specifically Spotify. We are so close to 100.
Close.
What are we sitting at right now?
The last time I looked, we're at 87.
87 followers
87.
On Spotify. That'd be amazing if we can get to 100 at all. But if we could get to it before Zandvoort, that'd be sick.
Insane.
Yeah. So like I said, please go give us a like, subscribe or comment wherever you listen to your podcast. It's also on YouTube if you want to look at us while we talk as well.
Look at the same shirt that I wore last week.
So you wore that last week. But yes, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week with race predictions.
A race preview and prediction. I cannot wait.
And I will definitely be making sure I can watch some IndyCar so we can also talk about that. So yes, we will be back next week. Thank you all again. Have a nice week. Hopefully no news breaks as soon as I hit end record and wake up tomorrow. We'll see.
It naturally will. So we'll
see.
It will.
Yeah. Thank you.
See ya.